Thank you for the introduction. Even in my presentation, I will start from the basics because it's a presentation for everyone. So I will remark some concept that you know, but it's just for giving a complete overview to the tokenization and to token itself. So who I am Alessandro Brigato. I'm project manager in Blockchain Italia, who has the leading blockchain Web3 software house in Italy, in my country. We launched several projects as a DeFi platform called Folks Finance, now cross-chain, our consulting company called iCube, notarization platform called Edit, and now we are focused on tokenization platform that merge tokenization and notarization tools just in one platform. And then we do consulting, participation in public call and so on. Feel free to reach me on this channel if you want. And so, as I said, I want to start to the basics. I know you well know the definition of blockchain, and so you know the perks. But what is a blockchain? The blockchain is just one kind of DLT. So why do we have all this kind of DLT? And we generally intend blockchain as a permissionless and public one when you talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Algorand, Solana, the newest one. But we need even the other logic and the other blockchain, because the logic could be used with for different purposes and for solve different needs. So blockchain is intended to be dynamic, and every one of these solve different problems. If you want, so just someone to read or someone to write on the blockchain who can allow and who have the permission to write or to read. So we can focus on the permissionless, but we know that we have different purposes even in this group. So we can recognize Bitcoin as a store of value, Ethereum as the first blockchain upgradable and programmable with a huge community, and the newest one as Algorand that will try to solve the trilemma, or Solana, and so on. But we have a constant that is the token, and even this constant is not a new concept. We can find the token concept in the analogical world, where we can find maybe the first use case of stablecoin, the chips on the casino, or the token for giving a right. So what is a token? It's an item or symbol that represents a right or value, or a unit measure into a specific system. And this system is the casino, the home banking application. In Italy we had, I don't know if in the Romanian it was the same, we had the phone cab. We can have the right to call thanks to the token, to the phone token. So we have a couple of minutes or 10 minutes to call someone. There are known issues like intermediation. You have to go to the cashier to take your chips, risk to be lost or stolen. There are costs for producer that means that you have a limitation in terms of logistical limitation and problems in terms of scalability or security. Then we move on the blockchain, and we move the same concept of token. And token is always in this ecosystem, so in the blockchain system, a digital unit of value issued on a blockchain or other DLT that can represent various types of asset and rights and serve multiple purposes. Of course, I haven't to list the key features are the same that you can find in the blockchain. Of course, there is not the middleman, there is transparency, traceability, and blah, blah, blah. But it's very important to think about the token, because as different blockchain and different DLT solves different needs and problems, so the token have to cover the problems that we have in the real world. So we have to represent something in the on-chain, with the on-chain assets. And we start from, now I'm just listing the more important on the Ethereum blockchain. There are Ethereum requests for comment that means that the community try to solve problems in every moment, and we have to bring on-chain life what we generally do in normal life, in the real life. So the first token we have to move is we have to transfer value. Okay, is a token of information, or if you want to identify as a coin, because it's native on the blockchain, but we have to identify something that is fungible and we generate a fungible token. Then we have to represent something that is not fungible, like a picture or a piece of art or everything, and we generate not fungible token, but it's not enough because the blockchain solves different problems. And so we move to 1155, so to the not fungible token. But if we zoom out again, and it's just a bunch of ERC, we can find more and more tokens that solve a specific problem. And so most of all are upcoming now and in the future. And so we can see, the last two are for the tokenization of a real-world asset. It's called T-Rex, or we have a specific token for represent vaults in DeFi or in real-world asset. That means that before starting to tokenization, the blockchain is not static. The blockchain, the token, every kind of blockchain. There are just in Ethereum, but we have in Algorand, we have in Solana, in Bitcoin something less because it's difficult to upgrade the blockchain. But we have a lot of token, and so we can represent the blockchain as a dynamic asset, as a dynamic technology that could cover upcoming problems and needs. And so, how can we figure out the tokenization for real-world assets? So, as I said, there are native coin for the blockchain, and there are digital assets we can call token, and there are tokens that represent something other the blockchain, something that is not digitized. And in general, we call with the acronym RWA, that stands for real-world asset. And how can we tokenize something from the real-world asset? We can have the tokenization as a process of converting an asset into a digital unit that we can call token and represent even the token in an analogical way, ownership, access right, or any other value. We have different fields and application. We can theoretically tokenize everything, and we can see platform in the real estate, art and collectible, and even in stock and shares. Which is the process of tokenization? It depends on blockchain, but generally we can consider that is in this game. We have to select the asset, define which kind of token and its logic, and when we define the token, maybe we can choose the blockchain. If it's EVM compatible, for example, we can choose before the token and then the blockchain. Of course, we have to verify the underlying asset, generate a smart contract, and start with the minting on the distribution. Benefits are very clear. So we could have a market, an illiquid market that could be liquid. We can have a market always on, 24/7, lower cost, as you said before in the analogical token. Now we have lower costs for transfer, faster settlement. We have transparent auditable ownership, so we can know how many tokens, which is the supplier, who is the owner, and reduce or go into zero for operational risk and counterparty risk, and of course the fractional access allow to have a wider reach and extend the market to the retailer, to the end user, or to the small investor. And of course, as I said, the blockchain is dynamic, so the token and the asset could be programmable or composable, and now in the future, I think more than now, we have upgradability and interoperability between chain with cross-chain asset, and something is going on in these days with some different platform. That unlock a scenario, a very good scenario with the crypto user, but are not, the assumption is wrong, because not just the crypto user that own a wallet, but even the small investor could reach the bull case scenario by 2030 with 10 trillion of markets in real world assets. And okay, now we saw the theory, so we know what is the blockchain, how many blockchain they are, and that is dynamic, as I said, cover different needs, and even the token, there are not just one token, not just one NFT, but different kind of token with different kind of automation. But the end user could be not just the crypto user, because the UX and the UI, it's very important to access this market. Sorry, they are calling in the phone. the classes. So it's very simple, and at the end you should have a website where you can choose your asset that could be represented by a building, a token that represents a building. This platform is on Algorand, but there are realty on Ethereum and different platforms. So the final experience, user experience, could be very seamless. Even for desktop or for mobile, this is for collect luxury, theoretically on Polygon, luxury asset like wines, watches, and so on. And the same thing, we could have composability. That means that, for example, we can, maybe you know, Surrey, of course, is very well known, is changing his business model, but by the way, you can have collectible cards and using in the system that allows to have different challenges or game. So we see then we can have a lot of use cases even in stocks. Baked Finance have synthetic stocks on its platform. Now is launching X stocks. So we can tokenize at least everything. And this is our aim and goal. So we want to tokenize everything. And that's the reason why we launched Tokenox on our software house. Tokenox is a tokenization platform built on blockchain in the portfolio of Blockchain Italia, where we can tokenize every kind of asset. So we have the step zero. The step zero is before that we can trade an asset or we can give value to the asset, we have to improve all digital workflows and improve the document management, because then the blockchain follows with its rules, and we have to create a standard with the blockchain as a layer for every kind of data and document management. And even the user experience, it could be easy to use. So we represent a platform that could be, wanna be like a Dropbox with the tokenization features in it, and we have to take care about the user features and not just just at the blockchain ones. So the flow is a little bit different in this case, but very simple. So we can have every kind of digital file. I write document, but could be a JSON, CSV, or any kind of document or file. We have the storage both cloud or decentralized, then we generate an hash and create the token. The token depends on the purposes, but in general is an upgradable token. When we have all the transaction history of the token, of the story of the data set and documents, where we can connect and link a different kind of wallet with different level of authenticity, for example, with a KYC passed or not, depends on the purposes, with signature, so I can do a transaction on the token itself that represents my signature, and if I have a wallet ID, so that is represented from another kind of token that is called soulbound token, not transferable token, that represent my ID, maybe I have a legal empowerment to what I'm doing on chain, and I can set tokenized workflows. Even in this case, user experience is very important, so it's just one of our processes, but it's very simple. You can upload a file, give a name to the notarization, give a name to description, choose if you want to store or not, and if you want to assign a folder or not. The tokenization in this case, in this application, is on Algorand, but we can replicate on Polygon and other blockchain, generally in very quick blockchain for fast integration. And we can even, once we tokenize, we can sign the document and verify the data on the Explorer, on the metadata, on EPFS. So this is just one feature. We add different features, KYC and other like workflow, even the PDF editor now. But we can check on EPFS all the data, like the file hash, the wallet of the signer, and so on. So I think, yes, in the last 15, 16 minutes, we cover all the all the path from the token to the tokenization. The trade-off is that this technology is very adaptive, and so we are continuous to grow, and the importance of the community, like the Ethereum one is the biggest one, is to try to solve every day more and more cover more needs and solve issues. So that's the reason why I start from the blockchain. I try to give you this point of view, and our opinion, and that we don't trust to the middleman, don't trust the intermediation, the intermediaries, but we have to trust only the math, and we can do that with the blockchain, we can do that with different blockchain, and so I want to translate, to trust from a little bit that don't try, verify, but I think that we can start to don't trust the middleman, but we can tokenize everything. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alessandro. That's great. So, while we wait, if anybody has any questions, they want to put their hands up, and I'll pass over the mic. I've got a question for you, Alessandro. Which industry do you still think is the most untapped when it comes to RWAs? Which has the most promise? Because, you know, Lofty and other companies are already piercing into real estate, for example. But what other industries do you think are ripe?
It's very general asked question, but what I want to say, it's very difficult for us, like the previous presentation, the product fit, because in our opinion we can fit every kind of product and segment and sector, and so most of them, they are coming to us because we want to notarize or tokenize or digitize processes that are inefficient so far, and so even before to go to the market with something like Lofty that give you an yield, so it's very for the investor, for the small user, and in that case depends on the legal framework. So maybe in US it's simple to do something like that. In Italy it's a little bit more difficult because there is legal bodies that have to be involved in the process for the papers and so on. But I think that the first step is that every company, even if it's small, digital as me, could understand that can solve every kind of digital problem related to digital process thanks to the tokenization. For example, in terms of, I don't know, legal issues, because you have something that is fake or you cannot recognize who do that, who do the file, who sign a document. So we have other tools because there is the digital signature, we have cloud, but we realize even in these days that if a cloud go down, we have several problems in all the ecosystems, so we are not fully digitized at the moment, and so we need even a layer of blockchain. Then of course the real estate, if you want to answer to you for the segment and the sector, the fields, I think the real estate is fit very well because you can do crowdfunding, you can fractionize your property, and you can give yield even with small amount of investment. So I think maybe could be and there is a lot of paper, so you can tokenize the paper and then you can realize the token.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A bit more of a kind of messaging question here. So in a lot of these markets, the main, let's say, users or customers are people that really don't know anything about blockchain, and now they're seeing these are liquid markets being brought on chain. And I think the response from a lot of them out there is one of confusion, suspicion, and people don't really trust a lot of stuff about blockchain a lot of the time. And I think the word token engenders a lot of that emotion because it makes you think of something like a meme coin or something like that. But we are indeed tokenizing housing, tokenizing food, all these things, and yet there's nothing suspicious about that. We're actually just providing extra liquidity, extra efficiency, and whatnot. So, do you believe that for RWA tokenization to succeed, there should be a form of kind of abstraction of the process? Should we still be using the word token as much as we are? What are your thoughts?
Depends on, because we can have the same things without blockchain. So the blockchain yes, there are, I think, two sides. So if I go to DeFi and I'm looking for meme coin, I'm looking for speculation. I'm already know that I'm looking just for speculation. If I trust a platform that it's like now, before I show collector, he start as a project that wants to fractionize asset on chain, but at the beginning, if I'm not wrong, he started without blockchain. So you have to trust the middleman, you have to trust the application. And sometimes you have to trust someone that starts the project, but I think we can succeed that because with the blockchain, we can verify the files, we can add more and more layer of verification. So if I have, I don't know, a deal or a contract or something that represents the asset, for example, a real estate, a building, I can track your records and I can see if everyone participates in the process, even the government, and with the tokenization platform. Before, why we do tokens? Because before the token itself that you can acquire and you can buy on the platform, you have to track all the transaction and the papers behind that token. And so you can trust. You can trust because if in this process there is a wallet for the US government, for the body, for the real estate, and you can verify every kind of PDF or every kind of file behind the token that you are going to buy, there is full transparent. So there is no scam. Maybe there is not 10x, but it's not scam. So I think that is the
so the transparency itself is the answer to that question. Okay, makes sense. Does anybody else in the room have any questions for Alessandro before we close up? Oh, one over there. Let me just pass the microphone.
Hi, Raluca. I'm curious about your business model. Can you
it's not in the slide because it was not to be a pitch. It's just an overview, but our business model is the web app with 3 different membership plans. There is for B2C, from B2B, from the small B2B. And then we have API integration, the most used, to be honest. API integration in CRM, RP, or custom API. That means that you can integrate our API for tokenization or notarization in base on your needs with 3-4 different kind of tokens and logics, and we can integrate in your software. And the last one is the white label, so something similar to the application, but with your logo and with your logic.
And you also for legal support if it's tokenized inside the European Union? Or
see, we had a memorandum and we had legal advice because in the previous model we have advanced electronic signature. Then the IDAS 2.0 changed the rules with notarization. We had the notarization before, now we had the tokenization. In this case, there is no problem for the tokenization. It's just document management and document transmission, so there is no value in it, but we are already discussed with the lawyer, with the legal studio.
So the entity tokenizing
yes, for the next. Now we also provide and realize a soulbound token, but it's related to the KYC. So the KYC, it's a third party, it's some sub, for example, and we create something on chain that can represent the KYC is passed, is done, and we have a status on the metadata.
Thank you.
I also have a question. Do you also run some checkings on the companies applying to use your tokenization system, if you have any KYB for them? And the other question will be also on this aspect, if you have any checkings on the documents that are uploaded into your system.
For the KYB for the company, it's generally not so automatic. We want to scale more in this sense, but it's very related one-to-one. So, for example, we have a project, a POC with a bank where we have to insert not the KYC but the speed, that is the digital identity in Italy with specific studio in terms of law and so on. And even for the KYB, we do generally with the company. So we do a contract B2B, and they can allow the operator for the bank, for the company. We work even with the data shares, certification issuer. It's not so automatic, the process, so there are not checks, there are not no standard papers at all, but we are open to create 2-3 standards.
And another question would be on the contract. So you basically, I think, use something like a factory smart contract system. I think you are also offering the ownership of the smart contracts to the persons that are using your system, right?
For the smart contract?
Yeah, I mean, when you create a token.
Depends on the blockchain, because, for example, in Algorand, we don't need smart contract. There are native assets where we can set the manager, the clawback, the freeze option. And so, in general, 80% of our client and customers now are in different under Algorand standards. And on Ethereum and Polygon, we do just a notarization. The next step is to open the range of token and the solution. So now is the tokenization on because Tokenox is both, starting from notarization, now we have tokenization. Token are on Algorand at the moment, and tokenization on Polygon, Ethereum, and Algorand. So we have to add this complexity.
Thanks. Does anybody else have any more questions for Alessandro? If not, then let's close up here. Thank you very much.